Good morning, everybody. It's Jillian. It's Jillian. So, yeah, I took a couple days off. I didn't do a Sunday morning live. Oh my God. Well, I'm kicking into a new schedule. We got a new bed. Ooh, a king size bed, and it's awesome. Um, Long time coming. It finally can fit all three of us comfortably without anybody losing any sleep. And since my husband's home every night, it was just time that we get a new bed. Since before he was home hardly at all, except for the weekends, a small bed was fine for my dog and I, for the most part. But now we are a family, finally, and well, we've been a family, but and now that he's finally home every day, and so I'm getting used to a new schedule, which is good. It's almost like I'm going back to, I don't know, before J Juice. Not that he was home before J Juice, but it's like, it's just different. I don't know, but it's the same but different. It's like I'm going back full circle, but in a different body, mind, and spirit. And so that's the whole point of J Juice, is to fight the battles out there, okay? But eventually the battles are going to be no more. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. You guys just starting are going to be fighting your battles. You're going to be so boisterous about your battles. You'll be fighting battles out there. You'll be fighting battles within. It's going to be, you're not going to see the difference between the two. And that's what I've learned now when it comes to allowing you guys to express yourself, yes, on some level, allowing you guys to go through your different checkpoints, because there's going to be checkpoints within your healing process. Okay, I'm at a very specific place right now. The place is that I haven't had my period at all yet. It's now the 21st. I might get it, I might not, but I haven't. And the last time I got it I was 15 days late. If I were to keep within the 28 to 30 something, I probably should have gotten it within the 15th and the 20th. Maybe I'd get it today or tomorrow, but I doubt it. I don't feel it. The last indicator to let me know that I was gonna get my period was the major drop in sugar, where I almost felt like hypoglycemic, where I had to go eat something. I think I felt a tiny, tiny, little tiny of that, but it was really very benign. And so I haven't felt that. The wedding, I drank a little bit of alcohol and I smoked a little bit of cigarettes and I did a tiny bit of waterfalls, but today I'm going to do a whole quart to just kind of really, clear the pipes. And that's the point of being on maintenance schedule with Jilly Juice, is to every so often, because I don't drink this every day. I'm beyond drinking this every day. Okay? Now it's like I only drink when I need to. And how do I know when I need to? Well, I don't feel bloated. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel any kind of weird way. But I feel like, okay, it's been a while. I think I need to drink the J juice. Yes, I have been getting up hella early. Like I've been up, like I would go to bed like maybe around like 7 or 8 o'clock at night and be really, really tired and then get up at 10 because my dog has to go out, and then be up around 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning because my husband has to get up. But it's interesting when his alarm clock goes off, because that's what I was kind of dreading, was the fact that his alarm clock was going to go off at 3 in the morning. And I would be really, before J Juice, I would be so nasty. Like turn that thing off and whatever, because I needed my sleep. Prior to J Juice, my sleep was like the most important thing. If I didn't get my sleep, I was the major bitchiest bitch ever. And if anyone woke me up, I would be so snarly. It would be like, oh my God, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Now when my husband's alarm clock goes off, I can see him reacting to what I was before. And I'm like, hey, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. And he would keep slamming on the alarm and I wouldn't care because I was already kind of awake. Hey, Elaine, it's jillyjuice.com. JILLYJUICE.com, and it's called The Evolution of the Jilly Juice Protocol. Okay, so there's 2 books. One is my earlier stuff that you can read if you want to. That's like $17. But that was copyright 2018. And then 2020 is The Evolution. That's the newest book. Probably get that book. And let me know. I'll add you into my group when you get it, okay? Send me a private message. But I don't do back and forth in private message, okay? But send me a private message when you do get the book, and I'll add you into my group. So anyway, so yeah, so when he was hitting alarms several different times, I'm just like, I was already kind of awake a little bit, and I wasn't like annoyed. I wasn't bitchy at all. It was like, I'll sleep in, I did for a few hours, but then you can only sleep in so much. So that's why it's like 10 o'clock right now, because I know that I'm on his schedule, so I'm kind of working his hours. But I also know that I don't need to have that major sleep in the middle of the night where I can't be woken up, because it's about adapting to your environment. And that's hard with couples when they grow apart, is because they haven't learned how to adapt to each other. And it takes one person to adapt to another person. It's great if both people can adapt to each other, because you're not constantly trying to teach somebody to adapt to you and then they finally do, or you're not giving up your body, mind, and spirit to adapt to them on some level. So, you have to be very strong in putting around your boundaries. But that's the joy of Jilly Juice, is knowing when to stay with someone if you can adapt to them and they can kind of adapt to you, or knowing when to leave because there's no way you can adapt to that type of culture, whatever it was that you accepted prior to J Juice. So that's the beauty of J Juice, is that you will find out who you are. You will speak for yourself. And that's the thing with J Juice, is about speaking for yourself. So I'm at a point now where I don't have to speak for other people. I speak for myself. I am no different than any of you. I'm no different than Elaine Moeller. I'm no different than anyone else out there. You may have different experiences, but not really, because you're dealing with the same kind of people with the same kind of reactions to the same kind of stimulus in the same kind of universe that has the same kind of elements with the same kind of allopathic holistic protocols that are impacting your biochemistry in a very similar way. You may have a different conglomeration of the symptoms of your body trying to adapt, but I'm sure I've experienced some of your symptoms on some level in different times of my life. Now, have I ever had a heart attack? I've had heart palpitations or feeling like anxiety, over the last 40 something years of my life, but it's never been a chronic condition. But I think I've been in all of your shoes on some level when it comes to symptoms. So we're no different, okay? And so, I will I will inevitably know what exactly you're dealing with and why, as far as the J juice. So it's really not that different. Um, and so, anyways, so yeah, so the J juice is going to help you recalibrate your body, mind, and spirit, and then you will eventually find out who you are. You don't need to speak for anyone else. You speak for yourself. People know who you are. They will figure out who you are when you find yourself, and you'll get yourself off the battlefield, because battle is where there's a winner. And we don't want just one winner. We want everyone to be a winner. It shouldn't be between me and him and one of us is going to win. No, it should be the fact that it's about balance. I don't want to destroy somebody else so that way I can be balanced. That's the whole point of battles, like with Dr. Phil, with the trolls. They want to destroy something for them to win. That's not the point of JJ, is to destroy somebody else in order to win. And that's about that I had to learn myself, is that you don't destroy other people in order for you to bring yourself up. And so it's difficult to fight those battles, because that's what you've been taught. I mean, look at the games, the NFL, the NBA, all the different sports, all the different wars. There's always a winner and a loser. The politics, religion and science, good and evil, Jesus versus Satan type of thing. It's always a winner and always a loser. I mean, you see that dichotomy, okay? The pro-vaxxer versus the anti-vaxxer, they destroy each other in order for one of them to win, right? There's no reason to destroy anyone to win. If everyone's a winner, then so how do you make everybody a winner? It's about balance, okay? You can balance your microbiome without killing your microbiome. And that's one of the things that I have to get across to my holistic people who hate the parasites, who hate the viruses, who hate all the bacteria, who think that those are all the enemy. Well, no, it's just part of your microbiome. How do you balance out your microbiome, your viruses, your parasites, your protozoa, your proteins, your fungus and bacteria? How do you balance out your fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals without destroying yourself? Yes, everything is divisive, because it's about destroying somebody else for you to get ahead. And so the thing with the JJs is, how do you balance out everything? So that way, when you do have parasites in your body, that we're helping you transition, because that's what we figured out with some of the people that I used to work with closely. But then we decided to go different directions, that parasites, like worms, are there to compost your poop, because you're not breaking your solid material down the way it needs to be broken down. And so the only way for you to survive is to have an extra set of stomachs, which is the parasites, the worms, that go in and compost your shit. No different than when you go out there in your garden and you put garbage out there and it gets composted by the worms, the earthworms. Okay? Well, that's what the parasites in your body are doing when you have an imbalance with breaking down of your food supply. So that way you can also absorb the nutrition. Okay, so when you do the J juice, it's not like that you're killing the parasites, but you're allowing your body now to finally energize your immune system, your digestive system, to where you can break down the food yourself. And then any intermediary that helped you do that is going to be then flushed away saying, hey, thanks a lot. We appreciate your help. And now we've got it. That's what the J juice does. It says, okay, thank you for your participation in this. Thank you for helping us out. Thank you for being a mercenary. That's what the parasites are. Excess parasites, excess anything. They're mercenaries to kind of keep the balance because you haven't kept the balance. And so your environment comes in and tries to help you out. No different than your community when they feel bad for someone that's starving. They try to help somebody by giving them food. Okay? And that's a win-win situation. And that's the thing with the J juice is knowing when you can speak for, knowing when you can speak for somebody else. When you see something, you say something. Or when you see something, you call the police if it's against the law. But if you don't see something, then there's no reason really to say something because it really, then it becomes, I don't know, it becomes a promotion. And that's what I learned is what you demote is what you promote, what you promote is what you demote, whatever. But even what you promote, it gives people the opportunity to look at both sides. Okay, so what I promote is what someone else could potentially demote. Because yes, I put myself out there with the JJs. Oh my God, the salt's so horrible. No, it's not. The salt is great. Salt is an energizing force. But anytime you put yourself out there, you're now giving people the option to demote it and promote it. And essentially, what you demote is what you promote, because now it gives somebody else who has the biochemistry to potentially say, hey, I could do that. Okay, so you're giving people an option out there when you put something out there. If you don't want to give people the option, you don't say anything about it. You just keep silent. People who want the options are going to find the options through somebody else. But do you have to be the one to give them the option? So I don't mind giving people the option of this, because this has the science back behind it through my book, through my videos, through academia. PubMed and academia, they may not necessarily say in so many words that Jilly juice is great, but they understand that prostaglandins are healing. They know that salt, you need salt, it's an energizing force. Lack of salt is hyponatremia, and that has a whole host of issues that will cause stagnancy when you don't have any salt in your body and you have low sodium. When you have too much sodium, it means you need to drink water. But then when you have too much sodium, guess what? Your body's going to then turn on the anti-diuretic hormone, and it's going to help you retain water. So having too much salt is not going to kill you, because the body goes into its defense mechanisms, and then of course you'll be smart enough to drink water, or you'll be swelling like a grape because the body's going to retain water to offset those excess sodium electrolytes. So no one dies from too much salt, because the body has its own mechanisms to save you from anything too much minerals. But those that have too many minerals, such as heavy metals, then guess what? Then the candida becomes overly abundant, trying to process and eat all of the heavy metals, as well as the excess sugars. And so then you have fungal issues, but you're still alive though. That's why people have fungal issues, because the candida, which is basically fungus, part of your microbiome, okay, it's eating excess minerals. And so what people do is they're like, oh my God, I got heavy metal poisoning, so they take more heavy metals, okay, which is like these detoxes that are out there. Or they take these fungal antifungals that kills off their microbiome. And so then they're putting themselves at a deficit because of all their different remedies of trying to stop something from flourishing, because you have not balanced out your microbiome, your biochemistry. Because you were told by some holistic person, oh, you're full of heavy metals, so here, take a heavy metal detox. Or here, oh, you have a fungal infection. Well, here, take this antifungal. But you're like, but that's because you had too many heavy metals and you haven't flushed your system out with the right chemistry. And so, yes, you are harboring excess antibodies as well as excess heavy metals. And then the microbiome will then figure out, how to keep the balance. And then when you overfeed a fungus, it turns into some kind of fungal infection. Okay? And so you know, that's the thing is that some of these antibiotics also are targeted to specific parts of your microbiome. And a lot of your microbiome is like they're parasites, and so they need a host, and you're the host. So when you're in a place where they're like, well, we have ionization ways to help keep out the virus, to help kill viruses. They're like, oh yeah, because there's viruses can be left like on solid surfaces and in the air. And I'm like, well, these ionization waves are not going to differentiate between a human that has a virus in their body that's attached to a host, and you're the host, between a surface where there's a virus on a surface. You're in an ionization environment where there's ionization waves trying to keep a virus out. It's attacking you at the micro level. And it's just like, people don't understand that when you demonize your microbiome, try to kill parts of your microbiome, you're killing off the humans too, because humans are part of the bigger picture. They're part of their environment, the whole. And so, the allopathic holistic world and part of this whole depopulation agenda is to make you think that your environment is out to get you. And so then you start taking all these poisons, these rife machines, and what are poisons? Anything that's overabundant that will cause an imbalance in your microbiome to where then you're on a string of different drugs trying to balance out everything that you keep putting out of balance. That's what drugs are, is that you've taken a drug for this to give you more insulin or give you more sugar or something, and inevitably it's going to cause an imbalance in another system, of which then will be out of whack, and then you're like getting a symptom. Then you're telling your doctor goes, oh yeah, I have a thing for this, water pills, because now you what are these water pills? Because it's diuretic. You're taking something that's diuretic, so you need water pills to add more water to your body, right? And so it makes you retain more water. And so then you're on a string of drugs trying to balance out your biochemistry through man-made synthetic intentions, which then inevitably is going to cause you to have then cancer, disease, and chronic illness. And that is the holistic world. That's the allopathic world. And that's why you guys are having your issues. And so at some point, you're going to need to speak for yourself. And I'm going to drink this J juice. I left it out for a little bit because it's so cold. And when it's so cold, it's hard to get down through your throat. But when it's relatively not too cold, but not too warm, I mean, it's salty, yes. Remember, you'll drink water. I've even drank a little bit of Coke afterwards because of the sugar in Coke. I love Coke. I don't like Pepsi. Some of you can put fruit juice in here. You can put fruit syrup if you want. If you were really underweight, one of my Jilly juicers who is really underweight, she put fruit syrup in there, and it helped her gain weight. The calories and the sugar helped her gain weight. Okay? If you really don't have a problem with weight, and you're eating a regular diet, you're not on any kind of diet, you're not taking away sugars, you're not doing a carb-free diet bullshit, you're just, you're doing regular, you're eating your breads and your carbohydrates and whatever, then do the J juice, because the sugars will then put the weight back on and also help calibrate your system correctly, and then this will then release or absorb the excess. So yeah, I haven't done this in probably about a month or so. I'd say once a month you do something like this when you're on maintenance schedule. Okay? Yes, Jason Shover, I'm gonna slam it. So here we go. This is a long time coming, and this is like exercise. Okay? Here we go. So the key thing about drinking J juice, whoa, whoo, holy fudge balls, is to don't give your body a chance to to really taste the aftertaste. Woo! Oh my God. I got plenty of toilet paper, believe me. Because once you really allow your body to think about how it tastes, you're going to want to stop. So when you slam it, either through a straw or what. Straws are easy because you just suck it and it hits the back of your throat. I let it kind of swish around my mouth because that's what I was. But sometimes you don't want to drink it, and that's okay. But in the beginning, you're not going to want to drink it because your body has to. So the reason why I want to drink it, I can slam it because I couldn't slam this as easy as other times. Okay, this was really easy. I don't know why it was so easy, but it was really easy. It's probably because I needed to, because I was at a wedding where I was smoking. I drank a little bit, but not too much. And so I knew I still held a residual microbiome from the drinking and the smoking. However, I could have probably not done the J juice and stayed with the microbiome and been okay. But I also know that we're heading into a pretty aggressive season with elections and other viruses, and so I need to support my body correctly, okay? And so, you know, a good washout of the system, releasing, and I've been eating steak. I've eaten a lot of red meat lately, and so not saying red meat's bad, but you do hold a little bit of every food that you eat in your system, even after you poop, because you can't get everything out when you poop regularly, even if you use a squatty potty. So it's good to just wash out any excess microbiome, which has antibodies from the body recalibrating and releasing any excess. And that's the point of J juice, is when you're first beginning to do it, you have a lot of antibodies, a lot of excess microbiome from years ago, from generations ago. And that's one of the hardest things too about J juice and those that have been abused for many, 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 many years, for centuries, for generations, since the 1600s. Okay? And so what what's going to be the hardest is for those that have generational post-traumatic stress disorder, and where they take themselves off the battlefield. You know, they stop fighting for their rights, stop fighting for something that they really can't see, and they get off the radar. Right now, we're in a perfect climate where you have no reason to be out. There's nothing out there that's open that you need to be out there gallivanting out there on the streets. Stay home, get the salt, do the J juice, worry about yourself and your family. You know, stay off the radar. Believe me, I wear a mask, but it has a mesh. It has holes in it so I can breathe. But I don't purposely put myself out there where I have to wear a mask constantly, okay? I do what I need to do because I know the world out there is changing. We're in a major transition, and I don't want to be caught out there unaware because somebody has an axe to grind with whoever. Okay, at this point right now, the climate is built for those that want to take care of their body, mind, and spirit. So you have to take advantage of the changing environment, the culture, the changing culture. And so right now, with whatever's going on, is perfect for Jilly juicers. Okay? Right now, what's going on is perfect for Jilly juicers. And so I hope to see those that have been abused for centuries, since the slavery days, do the J juice and stay on it, and then watch all of their anxiety around whatever go away, and then become a leader in their community of not reacting to all the bullshit. So now you see that I get the mucus. See, when you guys get mucus, it's the body releasing the excess. So there could be acids in the J juice that my body already has that releases the excess. When you do waterfalls, it releases the excess, okay? And so I'm hoping that, down the road, there'll be somebody in each culture that will represent their culture to where they become more peaceful, not being triggered by those that want them to react. Because right now, everybody is reacting to the triggers out there that are purposely being put out there to entrap you. I mean, that's what's going on right now is the, Trump and Biden and all these different political figures are drawing out those that they seem to think that they can probably destroy down the road because they're getting you to react. The whole thing with the voting is getting you to react. The stuff about cuties and all these different pedophilia stuff is getting you to react. We can't stop what happens down the street. If every single person, believe me, I lost my voice for many, many years. Ever since I was a child, I didn't have really a voice. I found my voice within the last, 4 years. Okay? It may take when someone's in their 40s and they discover JJs and they do it till they find their voice. Some people will not survive their childhood. You know that. Some people will not survive their childhood. Some people will not survive even their adulthood. You know that. If you can be that lamp, that light in the darkness, even though you don't know who's watching your shining, you don't know who's watching you, but if you can be that voice, whatever it is, as far as the J juice, and talk about, if you want to, about yourself and your situation, somebody who is struggling with their childhood, struggling with whatever they went through, will hear you. And maybe they'll do the J juice and maybe they'll find their voice again. Because right now we can't speak even for these small children out there that are being abused. We know that they are. I mean, we can't see it all the time. If we do see something, we say something, right? But we know that eventually these kids that do get abused do grow up. And then they'll get on social media, they'll see, somebody that's doing J-Juice and they'll relate to them. And then maybe they'll purge out the PTSD that they've experienced. But if you can't even survive your childhood, there's no way you're going to survive adulthood because you're dead, right? So we just hope that those that are dealing with some crap in their childhood that you've seen out there will eventually grow up, and you hope that that they don't do anything that horrible to where they're in jail because of their childhood. That they eventually will still see the good in the world, but they have a lot buried within that need to come out. So that's the J juice. That's the J juice world. It's just getting through all the crap, the cesspool of shit that's in your body, mind, and spirit. And then there's no more battles, really. It's just balancing your microbiome, balancing your energy, balancing your body, mind, and spirit. Realizing what you can and cannot control. Realize that there are rules out there of this game that we're playing. And every single time you react, you give somebody a reason to then do something. Okay? And so the key thing is not to react. I mean, yeah, like when people send me nasty messages, my reaction is to just delete and block. Sometimes I'll respond if I feel I need to respond on a grander scale for all of you. But other times I'm just like, there's no reason to respond. When someone is defending Dr. Phil, they're a religious person, they're a Christian, and they're defending Dr. Phil. They're posting Dr. Phil videos of me on Dr. Phil, people talking smack. You realize that Dr. Phil is, in the Christian world, satanic? He deals with antibodies. He's part of the Hollywood elite that has, been the satanic elite. And a lot of these born-again Christians and Christians know this, that a lot of Hollywood are really, satanic. And then you're posting, slamming Jillian with Dr. Phil, and you say you're a Christian? What kind of Christian are you? So it's interesting, the people that respond to me and then what they post, and then I look at their background, and I've seen their background. I'm just like, dude, is it because I say that, you don't have to, you don't need a savior to save you, you can save yourself type of thing? So, who knows? But it's quite interesting what I deal with out there. But anyways, I'm going to go because I just slammed a freaking quart of Jilly juice. And I'm feeling interesting. Okay, so yeah, when you do Jilly juice, you're almost going to feel like you're drunk, but you're not. It's basically your biochemistry changing. It's your hormones recalibrating. I definitely notice a difference now as far as all my different hormones. Yeah. And so I'm just going to go do my thing. But you guys keep doing the J juice. It's entering into a different world, a different reality when you do J juice. It really is. And so you're going to feel shivers, you're going to feel cold, you're going to feel a lot of different things. And then give yourself the time and the space to heal. If you don't feel like going and doing something because you're on the J juice, just stay home and watch a movie. Give yourself a chance to heal. And the climate out there is perfect for it. There is nothing out there that you need to be doing. You don't need to be going to the bars. You don't need to be doing all this crazy stuff out there. You don't need to hike right now. You need to relax. You need to chill. You need to do the J juice. There's no battles out there that you need to fight. There's no battles at all. There's no people coming. There's no roving dystopian things of people trying to harm. No, you're in a relatively if you're in the West, you're in a very safe environment as long as you don't put yourself on the battlefield. Stay home and heal. Stay home and heal. Do the J juice. Eat food. No diet. Get the book. Read it. I know some of you want to send me messages, and I get it. You want to send me if you want to send me a message, that's great. Don't require me to respond or ask me questions. But if you need to get something off your chest and you want to say, hey, I think you're awesome. Thank you for doing this. I've been dealing with this, and this. If you want to post this as an anonymous testimony, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you want me to do it, that's fine. If you just get something off your chest, I'm fine with that. But when you require me to answer a question or you want to chat back and forth, not going to happen. I don't really like to chat on private messenger. Okay? Because that to me, I know it seems like, well, why aren't you being sociable? Because let me tell you, what people that want to be sociable with me? Okay? And I have to put my boundaries down. So that's why I have a group. That way I can pick and choose, how much energy I want to give off without feeling the expectation that I respond. So that's why I say no private messages unless it's a testimony or you need their links to the J juice or whatever, or to the protocol or the book. Okay, so that's for my own self-preservation. But in that, if you're commenting on my Facebook, I'll usually comment back, even if it's just like 1 or 2 words, whatever. But I don't give off too much energy because I got to save myself. Okay. If I see that one of you are struggling and you're struggling, on my page or in my group, and I see that it's a struggle for a reason, and I'll see that it's not something that I'll be annoyed with, I'll give my energy. I don't do it all the time, but I will. But not all the time. So I don't want you guys to expect it either, that you're going to be struggling over my Facebook. No, it's that, if I see that, yes, you're definitely going through your own whatever, and I'll try to find a way to help you out. But it's not all the time. So anyways, thanks Kirsten, Yvette, Jason, all of you guys, Elaine. It's a personal journey. J juice is a personal journey. And it's something that you're going to have to face yourself and your demons. And then you'll find your voice. And then you'll be able to substantiate your reasoning behind anything that you say no to or yes to. Okay? And it's not because it's a belief system or you don't even know why. You will know how to articulate and substantiate every single reason why you make a choice that you do. And that's the beauty of J juice, is having a substantiated reasoning that makes so much sense that nobody really can dispute it because you can Google it. And it's a concept that is widely accepted. That's the foundation of our society, what keeps us alive. All right? And then you'll know what causes death and what keeps us alive, and you'll pick and choose. All right, I'm going to go and do my thing. I can feel the J juice. It wants to come up this way, but I'm going to push it down that way. All right. Bye.